Hello, everyone, and welcome to Start Your Dungeons. I'm Bryce,
And I'm Adam.
and today we are looking at the One Ring second edition starter set that was released by Free League Publishing. So we've gotten a chance to finally sit down and play this one. We've had it for a little bit.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about a little bit of what comes in it. So let's talk about what all comes in this box, because it's actually some really nice quality stuff.
So you get your rules booklet, you get a short booklet of adventures, and when I say short booklet of adventures, the adventures are short.
They're almost quick start
Yeah,
kind
they're
of style.
they're very similar to a quick start adventure, but I think there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
And they all take place in the Shire. We'll talk about those. You get a book that's about the Shire,
Which is pretty cool.
you get these weapon cards. So for your combat, it's nice to have these. A lot of games you have to buy these separately, but these come in a box. You get pre-made characters. You get some interesting choices for Hobbit characters,
And to start on that, they're all hobbits. There is not a
with one exception.
yeah,
But you can't get that one exception in the first game.
Right.
But yes, they're all hobbits. You get your pack of dice. You get these cards that have your role on it. So it gives you like it says guide, scout, lookout, and hunter, and then on the other side it's like rearward, defensive, forward, and open. So these tell the player what their positioning should be, whether they're adventuring or whether they're in combat. You get a big fold out map
which is beautiful.
of Middle Earth. You get a little map of the Shire inside the box. And one of my favorite things is you get your lore keepers. Not really a GM screen, but it's like your GM screen is on the inside of the top of the box.
Which is a really cool idea, actually.
Yeah,
Way to use everything in a box set kind of thing. And again, it's another one of those Free League press. Like, Free League's just knocking it out of the park with the quality on this stuff. And talk about quality, I mean, all this stuff is really nice quality printing. I think the dice are beautiful for what they are, like colored and things like that. They're white, almost colored with red on them, and you can't really see necessarily on here, but they have different runes on them, which is really cool.
Yeah, the runes, there's one for Gandalf, and if you roll that, then whatever you roll is a success.
Right.
There's also the Eye of Sauron, which is a fumble, and if you roll that, doesn't matter, it's a failure.
Right. So, talking about overall, for ease to get into this. So, I played it, you ran it. Ease of getting into, like, I thought it was super easy to jump in. You explain the dice mechanics, which is pretty cool. It's basically, you're always rolling a d12, and you're trying to hit a target number on your sheet, but based on what you have skill-wise, you add d6s to that roll.
So you get the little dots that
Yeah.
you can see on the sheet. I'll take a picture of that so you can see it and put it up on the screen. You're just rolling d6s for the number of dots that you have, and that adds to your chance of a success.
And if you're trained in an ability, you can roll 2d12s and take the higher of them, which is pretty cool.
It's like the advantage mechanic in D&D 5th edition.
Right. But as a player, I mean, the character sheets were pretty easy to understand. You know, I feel like it was pretty easy. We're talking about you being a dungeon or was a lore master, lore keeper in this game. How was it being a lore keeper, like getting in and learning all the rules and things? You felt like it was easy to do?
I think so. I will say this about this edition. I have the old one,
Right.
and I love that edition for its artwork, but not so much for layout. And I don't think that it was really great on teaching a lore keeper how to run the game. This one, not the same issue.
Okay, that's good to know.
I feel like this one, I was able to read through the rules and I understood everything
Right.
immediately. So, improvement.
Very good. Let's talk about the rule system itself, too. So, let's talk about things we like. Like I mentioned the dice. I think the dice mechanic is really cool. The whole hitting a target number sort of system.
It's familiar.
Yeah. What's weird about this one that maybe it's just weird about playing this box set, like we said, pretty much everyone but one is a hobbit. And so nobody is very strong,
Yeah.
which makes for interesting bits. Now, I only did the first adventure in this where you're doing like more of a scouting, kind of stealing a map back for Bilbo. And I really liked it because it let me kind of use a bunch of the stats that I feel like a lot of games don't let you do in the starter. They're showing you combat. These do go later on into combat, but the first one at least was very much a skill based almost way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting to run it because when I run games, my expectation is to teach combat.
Right.
We didn't have any of it.
Right.
You guys never entered into any kind of combat.
Yeah.
It was all trying to figure out a way to get in and get out and talk your way out of things. Yeah, stealthy stuff. And it was an interesting way to start out the game.
Right. And it was a good way. I think it was more interesting than just throwing you headfirst into combat. I think a lot of quick starts and things like to just put you in combat. Yeah. And it was nice to be like, we didn't have a combat. We almost had a confrontation with one of the burglars, and we were like, no. Like, I basically yelled at him and told him it was our job to be there, kind of thing. Let's talk about, is there anything you don't like about this system?
No. I think the system is fine. I don't think there's anything about the system that I can fault.
Right.
Like I said, the old version that its presentation was all different, but like this version of it with these sheets, with this description, I think this is the best version of these rules and the best way to present it to a new player. So I don't have anything that I necessarily dislike.
I don't think there's anything I dislike about the system. Talking about the box itself, I'm a little intrigued that there is nothing but hobbits.
Yeah.
And I explained this, and I've seen a few people online comment on it. It is interesting that there is only Hobbit adventures kind of in the Shire, not very much, like there's no humans, I almost was intrigued for them to do, I think this is a good way to do it, but it would have been interesting to do another starter almost set that's like, hey, this one is more like you've got your Striders, you've got your Dwarf, your Elf, and like sort of thing, because this one I think is really good about teaching you how to play, but it is almost strange that they went full Hobbit kind of thing with it, which is cool, but it's very different than what I expected, I think, opening the box.
Yeah, and I think what they were trying to do is give you that feeling of mischief in the Shire, more like like with Frodo and Merry and Pippin and Sam, as they're I guess just doing their normal mischief that they would be doing on the Shire, and then maybe they took it a little too far, and then things got hectic. But that's kind of how the adventure snowballs. But it starts with just little hobbits.
Yeah, and I do like that the adventures are linked, so they're all things that Bilbo has come back. He's kind of talking about how I went on an adventure, hush hush kind of thing. I'm not telling anybody. But they're all characters that are actually related to characters in the Lord of the Rings, which is kind of cool. Parents or like cousins and stuff. So that was really cool.
Like Frodo's parents. There's the Lobelia Sackville-Baggins.
Which is what I played. That was fun.
So there's some familiar characters on the margins.
Yeah. So we'd always talk about, with these box sets, is it a complete game? So can you play this game indefinitely with it?
No.
No.
You would need the core rule book.
Right.
Because even with the characters that you have, there's not really a way to upgrade them, really.
Yeah. You're kind of stuck with these adventures, sort of thing.
This is as far as it goes. It's just this stuff in the Shire. If you're happy with just doing Shire adventures, taking the little green book over there and maybe developing your own adventures, there's a couple of adversaries in there. So you got a goblin and a troll.
That's what I was going to ask. So, like, if you wanted to stay in this and use it, you could use this to almost make your own if you wanted to.
A little bit.
Okay.
You might have to get a little bit creative, but I would just say it would be really hard, and you would probably be better served to get the core rule book.
That makes sense. I mean, for a starter, I do, like we said, they do feel like almost quick starty. Like,
yes.
You could run them in succession very quickly. I mean, we did this. How long did it take us? Maybe an hour, if that, to run through it. And that was with us a little bit of skipping to be like, oh, like, I'm not going to make you do checks at this point, kind of thing. But like, we were just
teaching
learning.
The rules and going through an adventure is about an hour.
Yeah, like, and that's really quick for a quick start kind of thing. So. Let's talk about who the box for. So who is this for? Is this for new, seasoned RPG players? Who do you think this box set is for?
I believe that pretty much anyone could pick up this box and run a game with it.
I would. I didn't even DM it, and I would agree with you.
Yeah, like, it's not hard. I would actually say, and this is jumping out on a limb. My daughter is starting to play some of these games, and there's a lot of these games that she really likes. She loves The Hobbit. We read The Hobbit, and she loves those characters. I think she could run this for her friends.
I think you could. The thing that makes this so good for new RPG players is everything's on your sheet. So it's not like I'm telling you, well, you have to hit a 15. You have to. Everything is on your sheet.
It's
so
sitting right there.
You're
you got
trying
your target number.
Yeah. So because you know what your target number is, it's a little bit easier to play the game and not have a DM go, well, is this difficult? Like, should I do 10? Should I do 15? No, it's just this is the challenge number you're trying to hit.
Yep.
And everything's based on your character sheet, which I think is really cool, actually, to make it easier as a DM to not be like, well, it says you need to lockpick 15. Like, what does that mean? That sort of thing. So, and I think if you're a seasoned player looking to check out the One Ring, like, this is a really good starter. How much is this MSRP? Do you remember?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the box is $50.
Okay.
But remember, you get a lot of stuff.
I was going to say, for $50, I actually think it's a good deal because you get a rule book and, like, some adventures, character sheets, and, like, you get this, which is really cool, like a map. These, which you'll use indefinitely in the game, kind of thing. These, which, again, you'll use indefinitely, 10, 20, let's say $10 pickup, and dice for, like, 20. That part covers, like, pretty much the entire box. So
I think, for some of the things that they add in, you will definitely use them a lot.
And I think Free League is really good about when they make starter sets, they put value in them that aren't just, you're not going to buy this and then never use it again.
Yeah.
I think that's something they really do a good job of. But, so, as we always do, we talk about, would this box set make us try the game, both as player and as a DM? I can say flat out, as a player, we played this. It was me, you running as DM, and then our buddy Rob, who's on, playing with us. And, like, he literally, like, the next week we were talking about what game to play, and he was like, I kind of want to try the One Ring. Like, we really, really dug deep into, like, just enjoying the characters and having fun. And I think the game is so simple that you could really throw together something, at least as a player, to, like, just run through very quickly. And I honestly would like to DM this. I don't think it's hard to DM. So I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on the players' sort of agency of trying to understand what they need to roll. I don't have to really roll so much on my end as much.
Yeah.
It kind of actually reminds me a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse, where it's like you guys always do the rolls pretty much. But yeah, I'm excited to play more, I think.
I'm going to get the core book.
Yeah.
Because I want to run it again.
Yeah.
I have the old first edition stuff, and I'm going to completely upgrade.
Yeah. No, I think this is a good one. So anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this review again of the One Ring 2nd Edition starter set. If you have played this edition, or if you've also loved anything from the old edition, maybe something that wasn't brought over to this edition, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. But until next time, I'm Bryce.
I'm Adam.
Y'all take care.
Bye.